Hi! Hello! Makiko desu. Okay, this is a video response to comical Reina. She has posted something very interesting recently and asking about communicating with online friends. This is my third attempt doing a video response. The first two that I did was like, I realized I was talking too long and I couldn't finish my thoughts. So I have to like write it down, like really write it down to make it simple. When she asked that question, I immediately wanted to do a video response, mainly because I want to share my experience with everyone else. The first time I actually get to know the whole internet and the community was back in 1998, I suppose, 1998. And that was like so many years ago, right? If you guys have ever experienced and still remember, back in the 90s or even up until the late 90s, there was no fiber optics, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no broadband, and the internet speed was super sluggish, right? I can still remember how the ADSL modem works sounded like when you wanted to get your phone line and computer connected. Because of that sluggishness, and of course because I was super young at that point of time, the idea of going to the internet to go and get information, to do research, to read stuff was not there. But one thing that I learned that makes me stay on the internet was the ability for me to connect with other people in the world. Yeah, that's very interesting. I find it very interesting because I first signed up to Yahoo and then I went into Yahoo Chat immediately, kind of like immediately. And I realized at that point of time, right, at the beginning of the so-called commercialization of the internet world, the www, the World Wide Web, so on and so forth, was there are so many there's like so many genuine people available out there. So like out of 10 attempts for me to make friends, seven would be a successful attempt. That means we ended up talking, chatting, adding as a online friends, emailing each other, and very few of them like ended up, after a few years I ended up really talking to them. And then another few I actually managed to meet them in person. The first friend that I met online actually was a turning point for me. Seriously, turning point for me. To make story short, I've always knew about America, but I don't particularly know all the states and the cities in America at that point of time, right? So, and this guy, Steve, or his real name was Stephen Paul Amos. I would love if I would be able to actually reconnect with this guy. We talked for like several years before he moved on, and I guess he's married now and everything. But yeah, anyway, and he was from Virginia, and I didn't even know how Virginia was spelled at that point of time, you know, and he didn't even know where Malaysia was at that point of time. So it was a turning point for both of us, and we made like we were in like communication for many years afterwards. And following to that, I mean, the initial 2-3 years of me being online, I met with so many friends at that point of time, and I'm glad that there are still few of them who are in communication with me. Imagine for 20 years, and few of them I've never even met them yet. Like after so many years communicating online, after a few years being online, making good friends and everything, then I realized that there's a period whereby you cannot trust anybody on the internet, because once I go into the Yahoo chat room or MiRC or whatever it is, you kind of like know that these people they are like fakes and spammers and those who are into pornography or whatever it is. So that was a little bit awkward, and I stopped from using the internet and find friends on the internet after that. thank God, in the recent years, with the availability of better technology, so on and so forth, with better and safer online community environment, I suppose. For example, in the very recent years, ever since I started blogging, ever since I started going on Facebook and everything, I realized that there are people who are really open. I guess the world is now really a borderless world. And with the Google Plus, with Facebook and everything, I realized that, hey, people who I am talking to with right now, and those who really wanted to connect with me right now, they are like real people, really real people. And I met with great people, and I learned to understand other culture, other personality, challenges, environment, so on and so forth, much better nowadays. Seriously, like, for example, I'll give a very good example. I just started another live hangout with Manny, right? Manny. And I met Manny thanks to Reina's in one of her lives. And then when we finally start talking to each other on Hangout, like video talking like this, I realized that despite of the age difference, despite of the distance between us, me in Asia and him in States, there are so many interesting parts of our lives that we could really discuss and talk with each other. In conclusion, because I have been very open up to the internet or the online communication, like I've been doing it for 20 years now. I've learned the arts and science of making friends online, selecting the right people online to be friends with, being very selective of what are the information that I should share with when I am communicating online. Even though we have so many concerns and issues on online communication, right? I realized that those control mechanism that me personally put in place is pretty much the same as when I go out and make the so-called real friends in my existing physical life here in my country, or wherever I go. Whether I make friends and communicate with a new friend here in Kuala Lumpur, or making a new friend on Google Plus, the way I interact is pretty much the same. There's not so much difference. And one good thing about online communication is, because of the time difference and everything, you have more options, I suppose. If, let's say, I am alone in my room at 3 o'clock in the morning here in Malaysia, it would be crazy for me to go out and try and find someone to talk with, right? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I can just open up my computer and just go on my G Plus and see if any other people are online and available to do hangout, and we can just communicate with each other and start talking and everything. Yeah, so that's how I feel. At the end of the day, I think so long that me and that particular person actually exists. I mean, it's very weird if I were to do a hangout with a ghost, right? So long that both persons are real persons, there's nothing wrong for you to actually start communicating. Oh my god, it's almost like 20 minutes. I hope when I edit this it would come up good. Anyway, if you have any opinions or any opinion on the matter, yeah, why not share them with me too, aside from with Reina's. Alright, I will put the links to Reina's video down. Anyway, like I mentioned just now, one of the online friends who I met, we have decided to do a weekly hangout. Come and check us out on Friday. And if you would like to we would love to have you guys as part of our hangout. Alright, so see you guys again. Bye bye.